And we're back. Alright, so let's figure out exactly how Uni managed to turn on the power. Even a moment sooner than those days spent laughing innocently. Uni easily confessed how he had done it. There really wasn't any reason for the power outage. The breaker on the panel had just been tripped. Figured. It was probably due to the earthquake, was what Utsumi guessed. When Uni had told us that he fixed it, he hadn't really done anything but set the breaker back to how it was. That's why he didn't want to tell us about it so badly. He having said he fixed it with great confidence, when he didn't actually do very much, was probably embarrassing for him. By the way, it seems as if there's no whipped cream stored in Svea. So Uni completely fell for Utsumi's lie. Thanks to that, it was a lot of work soothing Uni out of his bad mood. It seems like the panel was in the basement. I was attacked during the power outage with good timing. If the power outage wasn't caused by the earthquake, but by human hands, there might be a clue there about my attacker. No, hold on. That goes to my theory about about that not actually being an earthquake. Because if someone wanted to blame the earthquake on the power outage, they would have to know exactly when that earthquake would hit. Oh. They wouldn't have to be a fake earthquake, though. They would just have to know it was going to hit. Interesting. Time travel. Technically, we already are assuming time travel is a thing. Because when we're going in between the bodies, my theory is that the time is different. That we're going forward in time and then back in time. If time travel does exist in this universe, even if it's through that method, being able to figure out future events is a possibility. Okay. There might be a clue there about my attacker. I went to take a look. Basement felt pleasantly cool. I used a pocket flashlight to examine the inside of the dimly lit room in detail. The switchboard was near the ceiling. I couldn't see it very well from below, but I could sneeze. Isn't there a footstool or anything? If you step up on that cardboard box, you'll be able to reach it. A cardboard box feels so unreliable, though. Look for a footstool. Uni could handle it. I'm a full-grown guy. I searched for something that looked like it could be used as a footstool. I also happened to find a wooden box of appropriate height, so I used it to place the footstool. It appeared in the switchboard. There's nothing particularly suspicious there. The switches were covered in dust, but there was only one with an imprint left by Uni's thin finger. There were no signs that had been touched by other people. Was the breaker tripped by the earthquake after all? When tilting my head, I jumped down from the wooden box. At the moment I landed, I lost my balance. Huh? I made a decidedly unsightly landing, falling on my bottom. Tears of pain sprang to my eyes. Ow. Jeez, you're so clumsy. Are you really 20, Kokoron? Are you sure you're not really a child? Responding to Uni's line with a wry smile, I felt a sensation similar to deja vu. I had heard a similar line in the basement of the shelter cabin. Hey, Uni. What? I challenged him with the same question. You're not a twin, right? I wonder what the Uni here will answer. No, I told you, I'm not a twin. You told me! Okay, so either he completely believes that we are actually Kokoro, or he actually is swapping between them. You just asked me that before, right? My heart jumped. I unintentionally began staring heartily at Uni's face. Before? Before as in when? Before as in before? I asked him what he meant by he only replied with before. It seemed like that was all he was going to reply with, no matter how many times I asked. Ask him specific questions, please! It's killing me! How long has it been between you were in the cabin and here? Are you swapping bodies? Just ask him some specific questions! There's so many questions you could ask that could solve so many mysteries! Left with no other choice, I changed the question. You have plenty of choices! You're the adult in this situation! Ask! You really do know who I am, right? Eh? You remember Fuyukawa Kokoro, right? Uni's face instantly clouded over. Yeah? The tone of his voice was devoid of energy he had before. I got on the airplane, and then it crashed. Kokoron was protecting me before I realized I was here. When I came to, I was in this place. What? But that's impossible. Kokoron wasn't here and I was really lonely. Just as I thought, I was convinced. Hey, is Satara really Kokoron right now? Even then, Uni appeared as if he was about to cry. Behind his glasses, his eyes began to go wet. Poor Uni. A child this small, thrown into such an unfair situation. I felt like taking him in my arms. However, I endured it. If I hugged him, then I might have started to cry too. Come on, don't start whimpering. You're a boy after all. I intentionally tried to use a bright tone. Uni's expression grew complex. Fuyikawa Kokoro had entered Yukido Sutaro, Kinky. It was probably too difficult to erase that sense of incompatibility. But I wasn't crying. As if trying to hide his tears, Uni suddenly turned on his heel and ran up the stairs. Alone inside the now quiet basement, I bit my lip. Look, I get it. He's a kid. He's like 10 or 11 or something. Wait, is he 11? Anyway. As young as he is, obviously he's sharp as hell. Let's start treating him with a little more respect and ask him some damn questions! Damn it, game! Alone inside the now quiet basement, I bit my lip, as I thought Uni was teleporting. No! That isn't the conclusion you should come to yet! And it's wearing different clothes. Actually, the clothes are the same now that I think about it. Just look, there's so many explanations that make more sense than him teleporting. Even in this supernatural environment. I didn't know if the timing was the same, but there was a high possibility it was the same cycle as when we changed places. In other words, I never broke contact with this one Uni. And another Uni never broke contact with Satoru, or maybe there hadn't been another Uni in the first place. This is getting confusing. It would be better to try and confirm this with Satoru. Since it's him, he might have been able to reach some sort of answer. Satoru, huh? In this situation, no matter what anyone says, the only one I can put my absolute trust in is Satoru. No, you can't! He can't be lying! Oh, hell. Ugh. Only Satoru, whom I'm unable to see or meet. Hey, what kind of person are you? I touched the bandage wrapped around my left arm. I was certain Satoru's wound wasn't self-inflicted. There was no reason. No reason you can see right away! It was based on my intuition. My body shivered on remembering the fear I had felt in the darkness. No, that was wrong. There was no way it could be a self-inflicted wound. I'm sorry. Looks like I hurt you a bit. Couldn't protect you. As if confirming the presence of its warmth, I silently rubbed my left arm. I returned to Satoru's private room. A dry bloodstain remained near the entrance. With that unpleasant feeling, I sat down on the bed. I found a note and left atop the desk. It was a message from Satoru. Panicking, I picked up the note. Hey, come on, Kokoro! He was mad all of a sudden. What? I got a little angry. The scrawled sentence continued. Transfer at 107. That's it? That's all there is? Is this something you want to say? Certainly, as a reply, what you wrote was wonderfully concise. You replied perfectly with what I asked, after all. As I understood, the illustration you attached meant too. But you know, isn't writing only one sentence a little bit cold? Can't you, I don't know, write something with a little more depth? Can't meet in person, but at least we're lucky enough to be able to exchange information, right? Wouldn't anyone try to make use of this? You agree, right? We're kind of like partners, you know? I intentionally let out a burst of laughter. I'm using her normal voice instead of her Satoru voice because this is mostly in her head. Yep, I understood why he'd gotten angry. Sorry, seems like a guest has arrived. I'll continue writing later. Alright, before I forget to write it, did you already listen to the voice recording in the shelter cabin? I'm mentioning it again here, just in case. Looks like someone's after me. Be careful. While I'm in the shelter cabin, I consider your body my top priority too. Well then, counting on you, Kokoro. The part of me that says sorry, it seems like a guest has arrived, bothers me. Guest? Was that guest the culprit that was after Satoru? There's no use thinking about it. I sat down in front of the desk and attempted a serious reply. Can you get more than a sentence out before you swap? Picked up a pen and started a new note. Used a fresh sheet of paper. Where to start? I had to run into this problem again. I wasn't very good at writing letters in the first place. Right? Salutations? Please forgive the lateness of the reply. I hope this letter finds you well. It's kind of formal. Just start writing! Oh my god, you're the worst! But with that said, something like Dear Satoru is also too embarrassing. What am I hesitating for? It was somehow strangely awkward. I recalled when I was in elementary school writing my first love letter. In those days, my parents wouldn't let me buy a cell phone. Therefore, I was a girl unfamiliar with email. In order to convey my feelings to the boy I liked, I wrote a letter analog on stationery, with my heart pounding into every letter of the line. Stop reminiscing and sprite into your letter! I poured my entire spirit into what I wrote. Memory made me feel nostalgic, but embarrassed at the same time. By the way, as to whether my love was requited or not, I'll certainly lock that up inside my heart. Now then, now is not the time to get lost in reminiscing. I held my pen and put strength in my left hand. Ow! Come to think of it, my left arm was hurt, even though I'm left-handed. wouldn't be able to write anything like that. Another option, I held the pen in my right. For the opening sentence, I decided to go with something simple and straightforward. Nice to meet you, Yukito-san. Characters look like wiggling earthworms. Oh, that's completely unreadable. I crunched up the paper memo and noteball and threw it behind me. And so my dominant arm was useless right now. Let out a sigh. Took another stab at it. Stab? Ah! I can't write! I felt like crying. In this situation, I'll use my spirit. Yep, if I write with spirit, I should be able to get nuances across. I forced myself to go on, struggling against myself to keep writing. Nice to meet you, Yukito-san. I wonder what I should write. There's so many things I want to write, I can't seem to bring them all together very well. You can probably tell just by looking, my handwriting is like this too. It might be difficult to read, so please forgive me. First off, I'll report all the important things to you. I've read all the message you left me on this notepad. I was only able to listen to half your message on the voice recorder left at the shelter cabin, but I was able to at least listen up to it seems someone's after me. About your left arm. When you cut your left arm, someone was the one who did it. That person tried to take away your life. In other words, that's how it is, right? But just who is that someone? Please explain in a little more detail. What's happening to Satoru's body? Why is it that you believe someone was after you? Or then, did you see that shelter cabin's voice recorder too? I was only able to hear part of it, so I don't know. If by chance you don't record it there, please reply here. But about the culprit. The truth is, it's not as if I don't have any ideas. Here I hesitated to continue writing. I wasn't confident enough to think that it'd be okay to write this. But in the meantime, as Satoru and I didn't properly share all our information between us, mysteries would be being able to solve together would go unsolved. In the end, I stopped hesitating and continued to write. I would start with the words, I'm left-handed, just to make it clear. She basically got that across. There's no reason to beat around the bush, so I'll just go ahead and write it. Suzukagi Hattori-chan. We're aware she has a DID, right? Recently she's been fixing her Hattori personality, though. However, I don't think it'd be unusual for her hidden personality to awaken at any time. By her hidden personality, I mean the other personality within her. Personality killed 12 people in Awazumi Hospital. It may be possible that personality is targeting you, Satoru. I say that, but it's not as if I have any decisive evidence. It might not be appropriate to write things like this, even though I don't have any real evidence. Even so, I don't think it would be going overboard to just give a warning. Be careful just in case. Next about Uni. It's extremely complicated, so I can't say it very well. What should I do? That's right. Okay, first, there's something I need to ask you. Have you ever met a young boy by the name Kusuda Uni? You know, right, now I'm thinking this, that maybe Uni is teleporting. Teleporting as in both his body and consciousness are transferring together. And the timing of his teleportation is exact same as when Satoru and I transfer. Do you get what I'm trying to say? In other words, at the same time that I transfer back to Mount Akakura, Uni's mind and body jump back to Mount Akakura as well. So if that isn't so, I can't explain how Uni could exist as two people at the same time. That's why, by my predictions, Satoru should have met Uni even once. That's what I thought. Which is it, really? Have you met Uni or haven't you? Please tell me. And I have two more things I want you to tell me. First is about Sphia. Satoru should know much more about this facility, right? So I want you to tell me everything about Sphia. Like how to get outside and how to communicate with the outside world. Second is about the shelter cabin. In the time that I'm away from the cabin, please tell me if anything important happens. I'm sorry. Feels as if I'm writing as please tell me, please tell me, please tell me, and things like that, huh? As an apology, here's the report. First about the earthquake. An earthquake occurred at Sphia. Because of that, the breaker was tripped and a blackout occurred. It's fixed now, though. And time's to transfer. I checked properly just like you told me, so here they are below. 1:07 p.m. transferred to Sphia. 1:40 returns to the shelter cabin. 6:30 transferred to Sphia. 6:36 returned to shelter cabin. 7:33 transferred to Sphia. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 transfers occurred 5 times, 2.5 round trips, and at present I'm still here. Looks like times are all over the place, but do you think there's a pattern? Well then, one last thing. I'll do as much as I can while I'm in this world, so... Satoru, too, please take care of my body. Things are plenty bad here, but it's a serious situation there, too. Might be kind of weird to say this, but please, try not to die. No matter what happens, I'll protect your body until the very end. So you too, Satoru, please protect my body. Live, survive. The two of us together will escape from this weird phenomenon. And then... I can't think of anything else. Anyway, I'm waiting for the day I can meet you. For sure somewhere we'll... So then this is where Kokoron will end her message. Kindly forgive the roughness of my writing. Until then, P.S. If you do anything weird in my body, I'll never forgive you. Don't touch it too much, okay? Rather, don't touch it at all. P.P.S. I'm thinking I forgot to write something important. About the newspaper. You saw it too, right, Satoru? Newspaper's in shelter cabin? Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it! Hopefully he'll be able to figure out the date and get information. Aha! Well, looks like he was ahead of us. I was sitting in the chair, the newspaper spread out in front of me. I jumped again, returned to the shelter cabin. Newspaper in my hand had adhesive tape all over it, holding it together. While reading the paper, I heard Yomogi and Uni's voices. Private Uni, what is your opinion of blue and white stripes? I think they're a little childish, Captain Yomogi. Yes, you can say that again. What were they talking about? I like black and purple more, you know? What are you saying? It's obvious white is the best, right? Only pure white, like newly fallen snow, can truly be considered a man's romance. That's more of an old man's taste, Captain Yomogi. Private Uni, you aren't very childish either. Somehow it seemed they were talking an awfully serious tone of voice. Are they calling each other Captain and Private? Some sort of exploration team roleplaying? I folded the newspaper. Uni and Yomogi were looking in my direction. Oh no. Oh no. Oh fuck. I noticed her sitting posture was a little strange. God fucking damn it. I don't wanna. Oh, right after she said don't do anything weird with my body. Yeah, that obviously mistake, but these two could have been, you know, less dicks about it. Oh, fuck. Wah, wah, wah. Uni and Yomogi were looking in my direction. No, that wasn't it. I was sitting with my legs wide open. Two of them were staring at my skirt. As I thought, white can't be beat. Yomogi nodded while mumbling, yep. His bearded face has become red as he'd been taking a hot bath for a full week. What do you mean white can't be beat? I panicked and slammed my knees shut. Hey, how cold of you, Yukito-kun. Can't you give us a little more service? In response to Yomogi's words, No! Gripping the newspaper in my hand, I slammed it against his head as hard as I could. No! What are you doing, Yukito-kun? I'm Fuyukawa Kokoro! Huh? Did you switch? I mean, his entire body's blood supply climbing up to my face. Blech. I smacked Yomogi's head over and over again. I misjudged you! I thought you weren't that kind of person! You idiot! Why are you smacking him? Uni was involved too! They were discussing what was the best kind of underwear! Kind of panties, specifically, probably. Pervert! Stupid pervert! Let your scum of the earth! Hey, wait a second, it's not like I asked Yukito-kun to. Whatever you asked for not is not the problem! I swung newspaper sword down in Uni's head too. Hey! But he didn't really dodge my strike, so I only sliced the air instead. Overwhelmed with embarrassment, I retreated, covering my head with a blanket. And the Sitaru said he'd be careful. He did. A number of times. But he said it was a habit. That's why as soon as he let his guard down, he'd go back right away. What's up with that? Oh, jeez, this is super embarrassing. I was so embarrassed tears started to form in my eyes while biting into my blanket. And I'm so sorry for wearing childish panties. If I knew something like this would have happened, I would have worn my game panties. The thing is, it's clear that she has a little bit of an attraction to Yomogi, and Uni is just like, obviously she's no cradle robber, so she's just like, well, if he was, you know, legal age, I'd probably try and jump his bones too. So I can see why she'd be extra embarrassed by this, but you're kind of being distracted by important things. Like, maybe you should ask what Sitaru was looking for in that newspaper. Or you should be listening to the rest of that recorder. Priorities. I get it, you're embarrassed. What am I thinking? It does bother you a bit, huh? Well, some people like things like that. The whole, if you feel unattractive, remember you're someone's fetishes argument, that's sort of similar to his argument, is an awful argument, by the way. When people feel ugly, they don't just want to feel attractive because someone has a fetish for them, they want to feel attractive because they're attractive. Just FYI for you in the future, if you ever use that argument, it doesn't help as much as you might think. Anyway, there's absolutely no comfort at all. See? I threw the newspaper at him. Ugh. hit Yomogi's face with a resounding smack. It's a really important thing to a maiden, I say in my normal, obviously manly voice. Kokoro stranded on a mountain. I should have brought my game panties. Yeah, exactly. Priorities. Pulling the blanket over my head, I heard the voices of Yomogi and Uni frantically trying to apologize. Was this enough for now? Oh no! I forgot to check the time. The wristwatch was in my pocket this time. Taking off my wristwatch thing every single time? See my legs open? What's with him? Jeez! And I think he calls myself my partner. He has no delicacy. Spinning out one complaint after another, I confirmed the time. The clock indicated 8:11 p.m. Since about 5 minutes had passed since the transfer, I would say the transfer happened at 8:06. He didn't leave a message this time, so I tried playing back the VR. Started playing back the continuation messages from before. It seems someone is after my life. No, I can't really confirm that yet, but it somehow feels that way. 2 incidents that seem too unnatural to be accidents happen one after another. 2? I don't know who the culprit is. Only any guesses as to who it could be either. Here there's Utsumi-san, Uni, and Inabushi. Uni! He's met him! Theory about teleportation disproven. I feel vindicated. No, it might be better if I called her Suzukake Tori. So he knows about Unabushi. So it's not that weird that Utsumi does, necessarily. Anyway, one of these three is trying to kill me. There was a slight pause. It seemed like Satoru had gone silent while still recording. After a while, the message continued to play. Of course, even I don't want to think about it. It'd be nice if it was just baseless anxiety. However, I wouldn't be going overboard to stay cautious. Isn't that right? That body of mine, but at the same time it's yours. If you happen to lose your life while you're in that body, you can probably use your imagination, right? I'm counting on you, Kokoro. I'm doing what I can here, too. There, then. And that was it. There was no new recording after that. The loading times on this game, for some reason, are kind of long. Especially for a visual novel. I'm here. After putting the VR in my pocket, I continued to glare at Yomogi for a while. He stood leaning with his back against the wall, an expression of feigned ignorance on his face. Before long, perhaps he couldn't stand my overpowering look any longer, and he came to me and started talking. I'm really sorry, Fuyukama-san. It's fine. Please be more careful next time. He seemed to be honestly apologizing, so I decided to forgive him for now. Got it. I'll warn Yukido-kun as well. Please do so. I spread out the rolled up newspaper. That guy, did he say anything about the newspaper? Good! We're getting to the questions I thought were important. I wanted to know what Satoru's opinion of the newspaper was. I jumped when I was about to write about it in Menmo. Yomogi shook his head. He didn't really say anything about the newspaper. But while he was reading it, he said, I can be at peace in this world. Huh? Huh? I can be at peace in this world. Uh-oh. It might not be time travel. It might be 2 different dimensions. Alternate realities. That also explains everything. In the for some reason, that newspaper is in this reality when it shouldn't be. But it's still in the future. So maybe it's an alternate reality and placed in the future a tiny bit? Okay, if it was an alternate reality, what's different? Uni woke up at the facility later than he woke up here now. And he was unusually well put together. Maybe one of these realities is the base reality, and this is just a random theory that's occurring to me that I don't have too much basis for. So work with me here. One reality is the base reality. I'm going to say the Sphere reality is the base reality just for the sake of making this simpler. If the Sphere reality is the base reality, then Uni lost Kokoro and everybody else died in the crash. The 3 survivors in the cabin ended up dying. And it's set in the future, so this kind of helps my theory a tiny bit. Now somehow, and I think Uni's the center of all this because he's one of the consistent factors between the two, somehow in that reality, Yukido got attacked, and during some big event he was expecting. That said, So Uni somehow, I'm assuming it's Uni involved, because like I said, he's the center of all this, went to a different reality, or created a different reality, or something, in which he was able to alter the situation by being more prepared for the crash, so he was able to stay conscious long enough to get the compass and maybe get everybody to safety. No, all these events that have happened thus far could have still happened in the other reality. Because they still got to the cabin anyway. I don't know what changed that made them leave. It was and end up getting killed by the avalanche. Okay, so that theory, like I said, I don't have much evidence for that at all. It's either alternate realities or Uni traveled back in time, or I'm overthinking Uni's connection to this. Alright, anyway. You shouldn't put anything past Uchibuchi. Exactly. I'm not putting anything past him. It could be alternate realities. I think that at peace would be the least suitable word to describe a shelter cabin. And him saying at peace, the reason why that triggered it is, one, obviously he said in this world. So that's a big red flag. But it also could mean that something happened in Satoru's reality that didn't happen here, or vice versa. Even so, I wonder why. Yomogi continued. Over there, I can't let my guard down for a second. I don't know who I could trust. On that point, I'm a lot more comfortable here, is what he said. Oh, he was just referring to the fact that he thinks somebody's trying to kill him. Shit. His choice of words might have just been overdramatic and not meaningful. Ah, damn. Thought I was onto something, too. Comfortable? Yomogi nodded. Though, I have no idea what he meant when he said there and here. Saying that, he shrugged his shoulders. Comfortable, huh? As for me, which world would I find more comfortable? Hey, Yomogi-san. If you had to choose between a world where it's really warm and you can eat to your satisfaction, but somebody was after your life, or a place like this shelter cabin where you were exposed to the threat of nature, which would you find more relaxing? What a random question. Let's see. If it's me, I'd probably choose the former. There's no way to escape from the cold of a snowy mountain. With a murderous monster, there are still ways. I see. I think that what he said was right. But by Satoru's thinking, the shelter cabin was much more comfortable. It said that humans are mysterious beings who don't experience terror and crisis on the same scale as one another. When Threat A and Threat B both attack in succession, if Threat A exceeds Threat B by even a tiny bit, they'll think that Threat B isn't such a big deal compared to Threat A. For Satoru, an unknown killer is probably a lot more dreadful than the threat of nature. As for the real experience goes, as I felt the fear of death at Sphia myself, I understand his feeling so well it hurts. Ah, so cold. Rubbing her arms together, Mayuzumi appeared from the ladder leading out of the basement. Just when I was thinking I didn't see her around, it seemed she was in the basement. Hey, Yomogi, could you make me some tea? After murmuring, oh brother, and shrugging his shoulders, Yomogi put on a cup of chamomile tea for Mayuzumi. That's right, I managed to figure something out. Suddenly saying this, Yomogi pointed at the area of the newspaper with his finger. It's about the GPS. Seems it wasn't broken at all. Knew it! Well then why won't it work? The answer's in this article. Seems the GPS satellite is malfunctioning. My eyes followed Yomogi's pointing finger to the article. The heading read, GPS satellite malfunction due to solar winds. Solar winds! A stream of plasma which emanates from the upper atmosphere of the sun and is composed mainly of electromagnetic waves and protons and moves at speeds of 350 to 700 kilometers per second. That's really fast, by the way. Comets, which leave trails tracing from the far side of the sun, are blown there by the solar wind. It does not reach as far as the surface of the Earth, and thus has no effects on terrestrial magnetism. However, magnetic storms, the aurora borealis, or disruptions in the ionosphere are all caused by this solar wind. It's the closest thing to weather that the space gets, you know? It's due to the solar winds, which occur once every 11 years. This is the year 2011. So that means in the year 2000, the solar winds happened. It seems like this is just a lucky year for solar winds, and it was the most intense in the past 100 years written here too. The article continued. Also due to the solar winds, a bug had appeared in the satellite for which used satellite phones. Sat phones! Oops. A cellular phone which works by way of communication satellites. Connecting you from anywhere in the world was the catchphrase. However, in practice, due to different company systems, types of available satellites, and so on, there are cases in which signal availability is limited to certain areas. Oops. Authorities announced that any remote operations from above ground will not be transmitted. However, in extremely rare cases, it seems that satellite phones will still work. Probably this rare event occurring, starting from the beginning of the year, the rate of successful connections is approximately 1 in a million. With this, even if we were to dial one number once per second continuously for 24 hours, it would be normal to connect one time approximately every 11.5 days. That's what the current situation is. A satellite phone, huh? What if we don't have one of those here? But then, that's if this newspaper isn't a sham, however. Are you an idiot? A sharp voice flew from the room. Sitting her already narrow eyes further, my answer glares in this direction. That thing's obviously fake! First off, the time was yesterday. This time yesterday, you were the one who said we should forget about the newspaper, weren't you? I guess. I don't seriously believe it either. Whether the satellites are really down or not is another thing, but it's true that solar winds are now at their maximum now. The news did a piece on it around summertime last year, right? About how cars' navigation systems will be useless and such. Huh, that just means that the guy who wrote the newspaper saw that news too. And so we think about it, it has some credibility. What a worthless petty trick. There's a limit to practical jokes. Just could have done this. Done talking, Mayuzumi closed her mouth. We all sunk. It seemed like that when we discuss the newspaper, we always go around in circles. Whether it's a prank or whatever, it's real, there's still one thing we don't know. Just when, who, how, and why does someone put this newspaper here? GPS came down with plot convenience. Yeah, exactly. That's what I suspect too. And they just added the whole 11-year thing because they like the number 11. The numbering theme is present in so many of their games. Thinking about it only raises more questions. And Uni broke that silence. In the corner of the room, he, who had been watching silently, noticed a small chuckle. What's wrong, Uni? What's wrong, Uni? That article. You don't want to believe it's real, huh? Still wrapped in his blanket, Uni stood up. The long blanket looked like a sorcerer's robe. But I know. That newspaper is real. Huh? What are you saying? We're already dead. No. He continued speaking in his austere tone, as if he were a shrine maiden handing out an oracle of God. From now on, we're going to die. None of us could say anything. Only the sound of the wind filled the interior of the shelter cabin. Like a rising requiem of sorrow, incessant and bearing down. The sound of falling snow could be heard from the roof. Gathering myself together, I questioned Uni. Uni, what do you mean by that? I didn't get to hear the answer, because my consciousness disappeared. Son of a bitch! We're finally asking direct questions! Why? Oh, this is so frustrating. Shadow of falsehood. Standing in front of me where Uni had just been was Hattori. She was watching me with a blank look on her face. Oh, jeez, why at such an important moment? Wanting to hear the rest of what Uni had been about to say, I started searching for him. I walked over to Uni's room, but before that, entering Satoru's room, I confirmed the current time. I glanced over the clock on the shelf. 9:49 p.m. The last transfer occurred at 8:06, which means that I was at the shelter cabin for about an hour and 43 minutes. Thinking back, it felt like I had spent more than 4 hours staying inside the shelter cabin during the day. Doesn't the transfer happen at regular intervals? In the meantime, while gazing at the clock, I began pondering. No, that's important too, but there's something bothering me even more right now. Newspaper. Why did the words Uni said right before I transferred mean? That newspaper is real. Newspaper is real. So does it mean that it was brought here from the future? The door of Uni's room was slightly open. Without bothering to knock, I rush in. And crash into Uni, who's standing near the doorway. Yeah! Whoa! Both of us had fallen on our bottoms. I looked across at Uni. What are you doing? Forget about that. Uni, what did you mean before? Before? Newspaper. What do you mean it was real? Newspaper? What newspaper? Don't play dumb with me. And I'm Kokoro, alright? I saw a question mark that appeared over his head. Uni let out a deep sigh and shrugged his shoulders. I can't keep up with Star's sickness. Come on, I just said I was Kokoro, didn't I? Hey, tell me. Continue with what you were saying before. I told you, I don't know anything about that newspaper. As Uni indicated with the answer to my question was beyond him, I began to worry a little. It's strange. Why can't I get through to him? Didn't Uni and I jump here together? Or rather... Then Uni said something unexpected. What happened to the corpse? Corpse? Who died? Was it the work of the murderer? Hattori was safe. Uni is right in front of me. Then, Utsumi-san! As quickly as flipping a switch, I flew out of the room. I was about to run all the way to Utsumi's room, but then I came to a stop. If Utsumi was dead, what should I do? It would mean the culprit was either Uni or Hattori. Or Satoru! Could Uni, with that innocent face, have killed her? Or had Inabushi finally shown her true colors? At the very least, the two looked completely calm. What happened to that corpse? What happened to that corpse? He was so composed when he said the word corpse. Was he fine because he himself was the killer? Hattori was still in the kitchen. Continuing on, I instantly tried to sneak past beside her, I felt something grab hold of my arm. Frightened, I shifted my gaze to her eyes, which were set with an expression of anger. What is it? Say something. If you don't, I won't understand anything. Let go. I shook her arm off mine. As if saying here, Hattori pointed her finger at the area about my feet. What? Nonchalantly, I looked down. Oh. It's a dead rat. It was a corpse. A small living being, a brown rat's corpse had tumbled into from somewhere. Its head had been cruelly crushed, causing blood to issue from its small mouth. The eerie sight made me look away reflexively. I pressed my hand tightly over my mouth and crouched down. Jeez, what is this? Stop throwing me into all this confusion! A lot of things had happened until now, and was getting to be too much to follow. As if someone was trying to continually test my courage, I felt like I'd been on a long and horrible trip until now. My mind was overheating. This may be the same feeling as having a bad drug trip. Now it's actually interesting that Uni referred to it as a corpse. The writer could have been doing that just for dramatic effect to confuse the reader, but normally people don't refer to a dead animal as a corpse. Usually they reserve that for human dead bodies. Calling it a corpse indicates a certain amount of empathy towards the animal. Now, I could be overthinking this, of course. Hattori worriedly peeked at my face, and then Utsumi came up the stairs leading from the basement. Yukito-kun! Utsumi-san, you're safe! Blankly staring at me, she replied. Yes, I'm fine. I just went down to the basement to get these. In her hands were a towel and a small spade. Seemed that the corpse Uni mentioned wasn't Utsumi after all. Then just what? Rather than that, where did you go? It isn't good to try and to neglect this little one. Utsumi stared at the rat's remains. Just what is this? You've become Fuyukawa-san, haven't you? While gently wrapping the rat's corpse in a towel, Utsumi said, Yukito-kun and Hattori-chan found this little one dead. We feel sorry for it, so we tried to bury it. Because the rat was in the army corpse. I don't get the reference. Even so, Fuyukawa-san ended up going off somewhere. Hattori nodded. The reason for her angered expression from before was probably because I just ran off, despite promising to give it a burial. So we carried the towel the rat was wrapped in her arms, as if it were extremely precious. It was almost as if she were embracing a baby. Oh, just pronounces the P because he's cute. I get it. Hattori, too, had knitted up her brow in a mourning of her death little rat. Corpse. Brown rats. Where's there a brown rat in the facility? That's also something I was going to mention. I didn't mention it when the rat popped up, but it did pop in my mind. How did a rat get here? Please wait. I'll definitely help you out. Wait just 3 minutes. I ran to where Uni was. Uni! Uni was lying sprawled on top of the bed. Seeing me, he had made a fed-up face. I told you I don't know anything about a newspaper! No, not that. I frantically shook my head. The corpse you were talking about before, you didn't mean... A rat? Did you already bury it? Actually, I don't feel very well. Sorry for not helping. Rat. I flopped down on the bed. Satoru, what is it? Nothing. It's nothing. The truth was never anything to be afraid of. Just the rat's remains that Uni called a corpse. The sick, intoxicated feeling of being on a bad trip began to fade. Is this too just me getting spooked by shadows? Or was it anything eerie at all? Only fear itself. In reality, there might actually not be a murderous monster. Just like a broken specter. Being the created shadow of the murderer may be myself, controlled by my fear. Broken Spectre! On a high mountain at sunrise or sunset, when one is standing at the front of a bank of fog, the sunlight shining from behind you may project your shadow onto the fog, surrounded by a ring of rainbow light. This is called a Brocken Spectre. Sorry, it's not broken. I knew it looked weird. A Brocken Spectre. The resulting gigantic shadow, like those of a monster, have been called the Phantoms of the Brocken. Are the Broken? Is it supposed to be broken? Because it doesn't look like it's spelled right. The name of the phenomenon comes from the Brocken, a mountain in Bavaria. Oh, okay, never mind. It is meant to be Brocken. It has often been observed. Way to confuse me, game. Began to feel as if everything was just a bad dream. Except the pain from the slashed left arm keeps on reminding me that this is real. I had more or less regained my composure and went outside along with Utsumi and Hattori to give the rat a proper burial. But when I went outside, the cold air came crawling up from below. Now inside the storm, I couldn't even see what was the few meters in front of me. This wind will finally stop. The past 2 days I've seen nothing but snow. The sky had been hiding behind clouds since forever ago. Around here should be fine. In the area just outside the front entrance, Utsumi and I had to start clearing the ground. Hattori eagerly started swinging the shovel around, digging out a hole in the frozen earth. She soon became covered in sweat. Do you want to switch? Even though I offered, she shook her head from side to side. In no time, a hole about 10 centimeters deep had been opened in the earth. Sorry it's such a cold place. Utsumi slowly laid down the towel that she wrapped the rat in. On a pair of wooden chopsticks, Hattori wrote Rat's Grave. And it wasn't easy to write on a pair of wooden chopsticks. The characters were a little crooked. The three of us got in a line in front of the grave and crouched down, joining our hands. Please don't let anyone else die, I prayed. Maybe a little bit beyond the power of a rat buried in such a shabby grave, though. Still, I couldn't help but try. Even though I'd only been outside for about 10 minutes, the cold had cut in my body. Waving my arms, I returned to Satoru's room. Ah! I didn't notice when I was confirming the time because I was so surprised, but a note had been left on top of the table. That's what I was worried about. Taking a note in my hand, I lay down on the bed. Began reading the note. Kokoro, this is sort of sudden, but do you know where the largest mountain on the planet is? It's on the border of Nepal and Tibet. Elevation, 8,850 meters. Goes without saying, I'm talking about Everest. Well then, on the other hand, where do you think the deepest point on the planet is? In this case, the deepest point on the planet means the lowest place the flesh of blood a human can reach. In other words, not an ocean trench, but somewhere underground. Do you know where it is? Correct answer is the Republic of South Africa. In a deep-level gold mine, there exists the deepest hole in the world. Depth is about 3,580 meters. But you know, I just found a place that's even deeper than that. Inside my heart. I'm so thankful to a girl named Fuyukawa Kokoro. Oh my god, you're hitting on her! No! Bad, Satoru! Bad! This is not the time to be writing bad poetry or romantic observations. Stick to actual observations, please. God, what an idiot. This thankfulness is even deeper than deep-level mine. At the same time, I'm so moved it hurts. Feelings in my heart climb higher than Everest. In other words, the feeling in my heart were to be converted into distance. This is the least romantic attempt at being at flirting I've ever seen. And I live with myself every day. Okay, I don't actually flirt, so... Anyway. That's around how grateful I am to you right now. Of course, we're talking about how safely got away from the culprit who's after me. Thank you very much, Kokoro. Because I'm a man who's studying natural sciences, I can't think of the right words to express myself, but... far above 12,430 meters. If my feeling can be transmitted through numerical values, it's nothing more I desire. I was worried about the injuries that were inflicted on his body, but it seems Satoru is still thankful nonetheless. I felt a little proud of myself. Well then, no matter how many words I string together, it won't be enough to tell you how thankful I am. There's something else important that I have to tell you. God, look at that awkward math wording. Exactly! I have no idea when we'll transfer again, after all. I apologize for the rudeness, but I'll be changing the subject to my reply around here. Set up on the bed. Wasn't something to read lying down. Nothing about it set up perfectly straight. Question. By somebody, who did I mean? Put in the voice recorder too, but I don't know. The answer is I don't know. Except I don't think it's Uni. I don't have any proof or anything either, but I can't imagine Uni being the one that's after me. Why does everybody keep saying that? No! No! Don't rule someone out just because you have a gut feeling! And I think I can exclude Sumi-san as a suspect based on my personal impression of her. In her case, I'm especially doubtful, since her speech and conduct aren't the least bit suspicious. The last one is Hattori. I'm hesitant to talk about her in black and white. As you wrote, she's the culprit in the Awazumi incident, after all. Even if Hattori personality is uninvolved, there's another more ferocious personality lurking within her. You probably say that the probability is high. It wouldn't be overboard to give a warning. Indeed, that's true. Why do you think someone is after you? I mentioned it. I haven't told you details yet, huh? I was on the clock tower when I was first attacked. I was pushed off it by someone. Thankfully, my injuries weren't too bad, but if I'd landed the wrong way, I might have died. I don't know whether the culprit in that incident intended to kill me, but they at least did it with the goal of hurting me in mind. After falling on the clock tower, I lost consciousness. When you woke up as Fia, it was probably a few hours afterwards. That's right, when I came to Fia the first time, I was lying on a bed. Masuga was treating me at the time, but I remember my entire body aching painfully. That was from when someone pushing him off? I jumped into his body after he was in the condition of being pushed off. So the first time he woke up after being pushed off was in her body. That explains his erratic behavior. Uni's most displayed violence is using stuffed bear doing action moves. That's true. That's very true. And if Satoru's body had died soon afterwards, I might have died along with it. I'm thankful it wasn't too serious. Next time they came after me, I was in the bathroom. While I was in the bath, someone tried drowning me and I plunged my head into the water. Oh, that's right! I remember that now. So such a thing had happened. I almost be drowned in the bathroom. I shivered. Not from the cold, but from fear. I remember her passing out in the bathroom or something while in his body. Suddenly feeling uneasy, I got off the bed. I locked the door. I checked the lock on the window. Because I don't know when the murderous monster will come after me again, I sat down on the bed, and thinking that a hand would pop out from underneath it, I put my feet on top of the bed. So I couldn't be attacked from behind, I sat with my back against the headboard, and continued reading a note while hugging my knees. Hey Kokoro, do you know who the culprit is? Please tell me in detail what it was that happened then. I'm begging you. Huh? What does he mean? Do I know who the culprit is? There's no way. Clock Tower incident happened before the personality exchange started occurring after all. The power was out during the incident in the bathtub as well as the knife attack, so I couldn't see anything. What was he trying to say? I didn't understand what he meant at all. In the meantime, I continued reading. Sorry, the conversation changed direction a bit. Well, that's it for now. Clock Tower, bathroom, my left arm being cut. These three things happening in succession means someone is after me. More correctly, someone's after my life. About Sphia. Is there any way to leave, or is there any means of communicating outside? It's hard for me to say, but the answer to both questions is probably no. If my memory is correct, there shouldn't be any way to leave or communicate with the outside world. Can't say for certain because right now I'm a little amnesiac from the fall. I more or less remember Sphia, but it might be that there's something I'm forgetting. I apologize for only being able to respond with such irresponsibly unhelpful answers. If I remember anything, I'll tell you right away. About the shelter cabin, did anything important happen? I don't think there's been anything big changes. Mogi-san and Uni are just lazing around. Only Lynn is emotionally unstable, but that's normal for her. There isn't really anything important I have to tell you at the moment. You know her! Tell us how! With that ends my replies to the questions you've asked me, Kokoro. I've answered everything that was within my scope of my knowledge. After that, there's the timing of our transfers. Thanks, you saved me. Thanks to that, I now know the transfer times I recorded and yours are more or less the same. Tentatively, the transfer times that I've checked go something like this. 107, transfer to the cabin. 140, return to Sphia. 603, transfer to cabin. Blank, return to Sphia. 733, transfer to shelter cabin. 806, return to Sphia. Please don't mind the blank in the fourth one. By the time I was in the dark, running away from someone with a knife, I didn't have any opportunity to check the time. I don't know yet whether there's a rule about the timing of your transfers. The only thing I can say for sure is that you and I both transferred to each other's bodies at the same time. With that, please continue checking the time from here on too. It's not like we have a big sample to work with at all. I know that word because I have a psych degree. Actually, you don't need a psych degree to know what that means, but the sample is basically just a statistics term, meaning a subset of population which is used for collecting information, may or not be a representative of the population as a whole. Basically, you want to get information about an entire population of people? You ain't asking every single member of that population. It's probably huge. Oh, and population is defined just as the number of whatever it is you're looking for that fits that criteria. I.e., if you're asking the number of people who have rode a train, your population is literally everyone that has existed in a modern society. However, if you're asking, okay, the number of World of Warcraft players who have raided, then your population would be World of Warcraft raiders. World of Warcraft players, sorry. The raiders is a subset. Anyway, so that's the population is the full number of people you're looking for. A sample is, like it seems to imply, a small number of that section of people. And lastly, about your body. Don't worry, I'll protect it no matter what. I take it upon myself to always repay favors. As I continued to read the contents of the message, I felt disappointed. Even though you left my legs open for everyone to see. Just remember, it made my cheeks turn red. I think I should tell him to be more mindful of other people's eyes as well. And moreover, Kokoro and I have a connection that can't be severed even if someone tries to cut it. I just noticed it now, but it seems that I, without you, am just me. Either way, the fact that I'm me doesn't change, but even so, when you're there, I feel like I can be more like myself. There's a 4-character Chinese aphorism that goes something like that, do you know? Sekichu Kansei. Sekichu Kansei. Red accepts blue entirely is what it means. Maybe I've been trapped by that phenomenon myself. Of course, it's because that you're here that this phenomenon came into existence in the first place, though. Red accepts blue entirely? What is the target trying to say? I have no idea. Red accepts blue entirely. As I thought, I don't know. Well, if you mix red and blue, you get purple. Red and blue, Akka and Ao. Are Mount Akakura and Aosage Island involved somehow? Oh, this is some hard to translate thing. Is it about personality exchange? Wish you'd write in a way that was a little easier to understand. Sorry, that was a little much, huh? Anyway, I definitely won't let you die no matter what. Just try and relax somehow. Believe in me. I'll multiply my 12,430 meters worth of appreciation and pay it all back to you. Huh? Oh. Speaking of red and blue, little symbol on the text box, red, blue, and green. I don't remember what the primary colors are. Is it red, blue, yellow? Is that supposed to represent yellow, not green? Oh well, whatever. Star didn't answer all my questions. About the newspaper, about Uni. You even touch upon those two subjects. Why is it? Why didn't he write anything? I didn't think he simply forgot. Maybe he had a reason for not answering? That's right, one last thing I wanted to say. Might be rude to say something like this, but Kokoro's drawing was the work of a prodigy. Well then later. Prodigy? What? Is he flirting or is he being sarcastic? Was it really that good? Or, sorry, was it really that good? I know I had good artistic taste, but I don't know about the work of a prodigy. I don't really understand, but it seems my drawing really left a deep impression on Satoru. Well, whatever. And with that whatever, we're going to go ahead and take our next break of the day. So get up, stretch, whatever you do, be able to keep watching comfortably. And I will be right back.